The Raven and the Fox. Master Raven, perched upon a tree, held in his beak a savory piece of cheese. Its pleasant odor, borne upon the breeze, allured Sir Reynard with his flattery. "Ha, Master Raven, morrow to you, sir, how black and glossy! Now, upon my word, I never beautiful. I do aver, if but your voice becomes your coat. No bird more fit to be the phoenix of our wood, I hope. Sir, I am understood?" The Raven, flattered by the praise, opened his spacious beak, to show his ways of singing. Down the good cheese fell. Quick the Fox snapped it. "My dear sir, 'tis well," he said. "Know that a flatterer lives on him to whom his praise he gives, and, my dear neighbor, an you please, this lesson's worth a slice of cheese." The Raven, vexed at his consenting, flew off, too late in his repenting. The Raven and the Fox. Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with towering skyscrapers and buzzing streets, there lived a clever and cunning fox named Fiona. Fiona was known throughout the city for her sly nature and ability to outsmart anyone who dared to challenge her. One day, as Fiona was roaming the streets in search of her next meal, she came across a sleek and elegant raven perched on a branch of a tree. The raven, named Ronan, was known for his striking black feathers and piercing gaze. "Ah, Fiona, you look hungry today," Ronan cawed, eyeing the fox with a knowing glint in his eye. "I have something that might interest you." Fiona's ears perked up at the raven's words. She knew that Ronan was a master of flattery, but she couldn't resist the temptation of a potential meal. "What do you have for me, dear Ronan?" Fiona asked, a sly smile playing on her lips. "I have a delicious piece of cheese that I found in the city market," Ronan replied, holding up a shiny wedge of cheese in his talons. "But I cannot reach it myself. Perhaps you could help me, Fiona?" Fiona's mouth watered at the sight of the cheese. She could practically taste its creamy goodness on her tongue. "I would be happy to help you, Ronan," Fiona said, her tail wagging eagerly. "Lead the way." Ronan flew down from the tree and led Fiona to a nearby alley where the cheese was hidden. As they approached the cheese, Ronan perched on a ledge, watching Fiona with a wicked glint in his eye. Fiona reached out to grab the cheese, but just as she was about to take a bite, Ronan let out a loud caw and snatched the cheese away from her. "You fell for it, Fiona," Ronan cackled, flying off into the distance with the cheese in tow. Fiona was left alone in the alley, feeling foolish and deceived. She knew she had been too quick to trust the raven's words and had fallen victim to his flattery. As Fiona trudged back to her den, she thought about the raven's trickery and realized the importance of not falling for flattery and being wary of dishonest intentions. She vowed to always be on guard and trust her instincts from then on. From that day forward, Fiona became known as the wisest fox in the city, always thinking twice before trusting anyone who offered her sweet words or tempting promises. And though she never did get her hands on that elusive piece of cheese, she learned a valuable lesson that she carried with her for the rest of her days. The moral of the story is clear. Do not fall for flattery and be wary of those who seek to deceive you with false kindness. In a world filled with cunning individuals looking to take advantage of others, it is important to trust your instincts and remain vigilant against those who may have dishonest intentions. By being cautious and prudent, you can protect yourself from being deceived and ensure that you always keep your wits about you in any situation. The Raven and the Fox. Once upon a time in a bustling metropolis, there lived a slick and sly fox named Fiona. Fiona was known for her crafty ways, always finding a way to get what she wanted, no matter the cost. She was dazzling in her appearance, with sleek fur that shimmered in the sunlight, and she used her charm and wit to charm those around her. One day, as Fiona was strutting through the city streets looking for her next opportunity, she spotted a sleek and majestic raven named Ray perched on a lamppost. Ray was known for his intelligence and sharp wit, and Fiona knew that he would be a valuable ally in her schemes. "Hello, Ray," Fiona purred, approaching the raven with a flirtatious smile. "What brings you to this part of town?" Ray cocked his head to the side, eyeing Fiona warily. He had heard of her reputation as a cunning and deceitful creature, and he was not easily swayed by her honeyed words. "I am merely passing through, Fiona," Ray replied coolly, his eyes locked on hers. "What do you want from me?" Fiona chuckled, her eyes gleaming. "Oh, nothing much. Just a friendly chat," she said, batting her eyelashes. "But I couldn't help but notice your beautiful feathers. They are truly a sight to behold." Ray preened himself at the compliment, a smug smile playing on his beak. He knew he was handsome, and he enjoyed the attention it brought him. "Why, thank you, Fiona," Ray said, preening his feathers. "I must say, your fur is quite striking as well. It's rare to see such beauty in the city." Fiona's smile widened at the praise, and she leaned in closer to Ray. "You know, Ray, I have heard that you possess a voice that is as enchanting as your appearance. Would you be willing to grace me with a song?" Ray hesitated, sensing that there was more to Fiona's request than met the eye. But he couldn't resist the opportunity to show off his talents, so he nodded and launched into a melodious tune that echoed through the city streets. As Ray sang, Fiona's eyes sparkled with mischief. She knew that the raven's vanity was his weakness, and she had a plan to exploit it. When Ray finished his song, Fiona clapped her paws together in delight. "Oh, Ray, that was truly magnificent. Your voice is even more beautiful than I imagined." Ray preened under her praise, puffing out his feathers proudly. "Thank you, Fiona. I must say, I do have quite a talent for singing." Fiona nodded, her eyes glinting with mischief. "You certainly do, Ray. In fact, I would go as far as to say that your voice is the most beautiful in all the city." Ray's chest swelled with pride at the compliment. "You think so, Fiona? Well, I must say, I agree with you. My voice is truly something special." Fiona smiled, her eyes narrowing in determination. "Indeed, Ray. And I believe that your voice is so precious that it deserves to be heard by all the animals in the city. How would you feel about performing a concert in the town square tomorrow evening?" Ray's eyes widened in surprise. He had never performed for such a large audience before, and the thought of showcasing his talents to the whole city filled him with excitement. "I would be honored, Fiona," Ray said eagerly. "I will start practicing right away to ensure that my performance is perfect." Fiona's smile widened as her plan fell into place. "Excellent, Ray. I can't wait to see the whole city spellbound by your voice." The next day, the town square was packed with animals from all corners of the city. They had heard of Ray's legendary voice and were eager to hear him sing. Fiona sat in the front row, a smug smile playing on her lips as she watched the raven take the stage. As Ray began to sing, his voice soared through the air, filling the square with its beauty. The animals listened in rapt attention, mesmerized by the melody. Ray sang with all his heart, pouring his soul into every note. But as he sang, Fiona's smile turned into a smirk. She had been waiting for this moment, for the raven's vanity to be his downfall. Just as Ray reached the crescendo of his song, Fiona let out a piercing whistle that echoed through the square. Startled, Ray faltered in his song, his voice cracking as he lost his rhythm. The animals looked around in confusion, wondering what had caused the interruption. Fiona stood up from her seat, her eyes gleaming with triumph. "I'm sorry, everyone," she called out, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "It seems that poor Ray has lost his voice. How unfortunate." The animals gasped in shock, realizing that Fiona had sabotaged the performance. Ray hung his head in shame, knowing that he had fallen for Fiona's cunning trap. As the animals dispersed, whispering among themselves about Fiona's deceit, Ray approached the fox with a glare in his eyes. "Why did you do this, Fiona?" Ray demanded, his voice filled with anger and hurt. "I thought we were friends. I trusted you." Fiona shrugged, a smirk playing on her lips. "Oh, Ray, you should know better than to trust a creature like me. I saw an opportunity to bring you down, and I took it. That's just the way the world works." Ray shook his head in disbelief, realizing the extent of Fiona's treachery. "But what was the point? What did you gain from ruining my performance?" Fiona's eyes glinted with malice as she looked at Ray. "I gained the satisfaction of knowing that I am the most cunning creature in this city. And now everyone else knows it too." Ray hung his head in defeat, knowing that Fiona's words were true. He had been blinded by his own vanity and had paid the price for it. As Ray flew off into the distance, his heart heavy with regret, Fiona watched him go with a smirk on her face. She had won this round, but she knew that there would always be another opportunity to outsmart someone else. And so, the moral of the story is clear: beware the deceptive charms of the cunning and deceitful, for their flattery may lead to your downfall. Vanity and pride are dangerous companions, and they can cloud your judgment and lead you astray. In a world where not everyone has your best interests at heart, it is important to stay true to yourself and trust your instincts. For in the end, it is better to be humble and wise than to be a victim of your own vanity.